Hey everyone, it's your host Cyber Gaming Studios, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I wanted to exclusively make a video, basically a tutorial video, and I haven't done one of these disassembly things or mods in a very long time. The last time I did this was probably either last year or the year before, and I did these during the prime of PS4's prime, way before the PS5 was going to be announced. And I say, you know what? Why not show the world how to fix this? Now, this device is actually created by a company called Dobe. You guys can see that, called Dobe. I hope it's not like upside down or anything like that. I do apologize. If it does show up while I'm rendering, I'll probably flip it so it will be in the right orientation. So I do apologize in advance. However, the problem with this fan is that it's looks great looking fan, but it doesn't work. And I mean, it does work in the sense of it does what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't do what you think it should do. And let me explain. I watched here on YouTube. I watched a creator here on YouTube who literally did a test using this exact model, this exact fan. And he did a test, and the same company who built with it, and he tested it on his PS4 Pro. When he tested it, the results came very outstanding, and actually horrible. Horrible outstanding, if you must. And when he tested his PS4 without the fan was at stock. His PS4 was at stock thermal heat. So his temperatures of his PS4 Pro were very low. When he put this on and he tried it and he played for 2 hours straight, he discovered that this didn't really help his PS4 at all. It actually made his PS4 increase in temperatures, and it was just not more worth. To him, it's not worth the money to spend on this little device. Now, there is a reason that I would say it's good to pick up this device because it's easily moddable. You don't need any soldering, you don't need any knowledge. All you need to do is just disassemble the face panel of the fans. It doesn't go any. There's nothing in the back, as you can see, but there's all the magic's down here, and it's pretty much simple. You can pretty much disassemble and modify this yourself. You can already probably see that there is something different about this fan, and that's because I've already pre-modded it. Now I'm gonna explain to you how this works. Now, I'm going to explain to you all the screw locations if you're planning to do this and buy one yourself. So there's one screw right here, there's one screw right here, there's one screw right here, there's two screws right here, one right here and one right over there. And there's one screw right here, and there's one screw right here, and there's one last screw right here. Once you actually get access to, once you remove all of them, make sure that you put the screws in a safe place, because if you lose one, some people have something called OCD, and they hate it when one thing is missing, because if one thing's missing, they're gonna get upset. And I can understand that can happen, but make sure that you put them in a safe place, like put them in a Tupperware or something like that, so you never lose them. And make sure that your multi-purpose tool is also magnetic, because it is very useful. And you'll also have to make sure that it's very slim. This one is fine. I actually found this on eBay for very cheap. If you guys want to pick up one, I'll try to find it on eBay, and hopefully you can get the same one I have. And it's pretty good. I really like it because it's just freaking amazing. And you don't lose the knobs because they're pretty much like, if you look inside the flaps, they're actually tied in there. To remove them, you just like lift them up backwards. You lift them all the way to the back, and then you pull back, and they're easily removable. I was confused when I first got these because I didn't know how to remove them, and I didn't want to damage the metal parts until I figured it out, and now pretty much this became my best friend. So once you actually remove all the screws, you should be able to like lift up the panel. You might need 2 hands to do this. So you do that, you remove it, and you take the faceplate and you put it to the side. Make sure you don't damage that faceplate, because that could be important, and it'll be a hassle re-putting it back together. Now you can see that the fans are now in place, and I'm gonna explain to you how it works. So by default, this top part is flipped backwards, so it's faced bond on the bottom, not upwards. This is the stock default one. This is not the stock default one. This is not stock. My apologies. This is stock. This is stock. Actually, this is not stock because I just flipped it. I flipped it. Not this one, but this one I flipped because this one was making sound. And yeah. So, but how this works is basically this. Instead of blowing air out, these will blow air in. These two will blow air out. And this one will blow air inwards. And the reason for this is because these two, if they were flipped on the other way, they would make a lot of noise, especially if they're on high, and it can be very annoying because you want to fan that very quickly and you automatically think it's your PS4. So when I flipped these, it actually took the sound away completely, and I was really happy about that. But the good thing about this is that this will actually now cool your PS4 instead of overheating it. So air will come out through these three, and the air will blow out of these two. These will work double the hard. Since there's two, there really isn't much to work on, but there's three helping circulate the air through the PS4, cold air, depending on your temperature of your house, and it will then blow the air into the PS4. Then the PS4, while the PS4 is blowing air as well, the only way it can come out is through these two holes. Yeah, that seems really shitty, but it's better than nothing. And trust me, since there's fans, circulation, air is going to be circling around the PS4 consistently, so there's no worries. The only concern that I feel about this is that, one, it's going to collect a lot of dust. So you have to make sure that if you're going to be using this, try using your PS4 less than more. I know that a lot of people are not going to do that anyways, but I would highly recommend you making sure that every single day, at least once a day or at least once a week, you check on this and you try to keep it clean. Because the more you keep it clean, the more it will perform better. Now, the reason I flipped this one over is because I originally was going to keep these three as normal, but the only reason I flipped this over is because this bad boy right here decides to make a sound whenever it blows. I've actually had to cover these two to see the pinpoint which one was making the noise, and it was this little bad boy right here. This one was making the noise, so I flipped it over, and hopefully it won't do that. Now, what happens when you do it? Well, once you do it, all you gotta make sure is the wires are inside. Make sure that everything is okay, and I'm gonna show you guys how everything works. So I'm gonna bring this close to the camera. So if you guys look at this little piece right here, it looks like a black dot. I know you guys can't focus it, but it looks like a black dot. This is the thermal sensor. This is what detects what's your temperature of your PS4, and if you have your settings on auto through the board, it will send the signal to the board. The board will send the signal back, and it will adjust the speed and the speeds of that fan. Well, it's pretty nice, isn't it? Now, it doesn't really do anything automatically increase or decrease speed. It's based on what you're setting. If you want it high or low, and it will only go high if it really needs it. So once you actually do that, once you actually make the modifications, just make sure you flip these over. Just as a recap, flip these two over and flip this one over. If it's not this one making the sound, before you flip this one over, test it to ensure that, before you disassemble it, pinpoint the ones that are making sound, flip them over, then put it all back together so you don't have to deal with it. Yeah, I know that some people may say this may be a bad idea, but this is the far superior idea, simply because you can just easily cool your PS4 without having, and make this more useful and make your money more worth your buck than having to lose a couple yourself. Once you actually do that, I would highly suggest is just to reassemble it and plug it back in. That's all you have to do. As I'm going to show you guys, it's pretty simple. It's not that hard. I don't want to tell you guys that this is going to work for everybody. I'm not going to say that everyone is going to do this, but this is one good way to make these things very useful. Because I've used this on my PS4, but I've really never noticed a lot of good. I never seen it really improve my PS4. I just heard my PS4 sound very terrible, and I tried to put it in one that I've already put it in. I am dumb. And I've never seen my PS4 feel like it was actually cooling down. I actually heard it increase more in speed than I did while it's off, and it's very terrible. So, what are the things to look for when it comes to disassembling this? Well, for one, you're gonna need some technical assistance, not technical knowledge about this. You need to be able to know how to disassemble, where are all the screws, what should I do if in case of something goes wrong, you know. Just remember, when you do flip them, you're gonna have to be very, very careful when you do flip them, because if you flip them and you don't put the wires correctly, one, you can cause an issue whenever it can be caught inside of a stem, where whenever you try to screw it in, it may damage the wire, or two, this thing won't be flat enough, so it won't feel snugged right in the PS4. There could be a lot of problems if you don't do this correctly and you fuck up, but in the long run, it's going to be totally worth it, because not only that you're going to be helping your PS4 stay cool, but when you did this mod, I've noticed that my PS4 Pro hasn't got that very hot. Yeah, you can still feel heat, but it's more now at a lower temperature, because it's blowing air in and then also blowing air out. And I understand that a lot of people may say that's a bad idea because that's will collect dust, but hey, it's well hell of a lot better than just what this piece of shit did. So, you know, it's useful for something. If you get one of these, or you're planning to get one of these, should you get it? Should you spend the money just getting this? Well, I would say no. It's not really worth spending the money unless you know how to do what I'm showing you in this video. If you're very confident enough to do this, to modify this comfortably, it's something that you definitely need to do. It's not like you can avoid not doing it. How I came up with this idea was that I think it was earlier today. Yeah, I think it was earlier today. I came with the idea that I wanted to be able to cool my PS4. And I really never kept this off because it really didn't help my situation. And now that I see it doing its job, I feel that I should keep this on more. I've seen it blow more air out efficiently than I've seen it when I actually first used it. And it's going to blow a lot of air because it's going to keep everything cool. Not only your power supply cool, but it's also going to keep everything cool because it's blowing air inside here, inwards, as well as the third one blowing air in. And then you have two fans working hard to take that hot air and blow it out of the PS4. This way, the PS4 doesn't have to work hard or get some assistance, so the PS4 can still do its job. And as well, these can help the PS4, cool down while you're beginning. And it's going to be very, very nice because simply, we all love playing 24/7s on our console, and we know that eventually they get really hot. So, doing what's best for your console is going to extend your console's life in the long run. So, yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, I would love it and appreciate it if you hit that button and subscribe button and hit a like on this video, because it took a lot of time figuring this out and figuring the correct configuration for this, and to be honest, I'm really liking it. So if you guys did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate it if you did all that, and if you guys didn't, you guys know what to do. See you guys later, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.